The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Lately, I've been losing sleep, dreaming about the things that we could be. But baby, I've been praying hard. Said no more counting dollars, we'll be counting stars. Yeah, we'll be counting stars. I see this life like a swinging vine, swing my heart across the line, and my face is flashing signs. Seek it out and ye shall find. Old, but I'm not that old. Young, but I'm not that bold. And I don't think the world is sold. I'm just doing what we're told. I feel something so right, doing the wrong thing. And I feel something so wrong, doing the right thing. Couldn't lie. Everything that kills me makes me feel alive. I've been living, dreaming about the things that we could be. Baby, I've been praying hard. Said no more counting dollars, we'll be counting stars. I feel your love, and I feel it burn down this river every turn. Hope is our four-letter word. Make that money, watch it burn. Old, but I'm not that old. Young, but I'm not that old.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 2022 No Punt Intended Fantasy Football Draft Powerball Lottery live on YouTube. Joining me, as always, is the beautiful Mrs. Bethany Horn, Hall of Famer and team owner of Sacks in the City. How are you doing this evening, babe?
I am doing great. I'm happy to be here. It's going to be a great time tonight, and I'm happy y'all are here.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for being part of the league once again. As you can tell, we tried to add a few bells and whistles to the show this year with a few different camera angles. So we're kind of doing things a little bit different, right? As you can see, like I said, two different camera angles that we're going to be operating from. And it should be a great, great show. We have a new member of the league this year in Stephen Powless, team owner of the Dallas Greenskins. And as you can see, once again, I'm rocking the BAM Sports Show t-shirt. If you haven't subscribed to the BAM Sports Show on either YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify, you're wrong. Okay, so right after the Draft Powerball Lottery, make sure you get over there and subscribe to our podcast. Anyhow, we have 12 teams that we're going to be figuring out draft position for. And as you can see, right next to Bethany is the new and improved Draft Powerball Lottery machine. So we're going to be using that. And yeah, I guess with that, what do you think? Should we roll right into our first team owner?
I think so.
Okay. I will draw a name out of the... Well, actually, you know what? Before we do that, there's a few orders of business. I almost forgot. So, as far as draft day is concerned, if you look at the league Facebook page, I did post a poll. As of yesterday, I believe, there was only 7 votes on that poll. But as far as draft day in and of itself is concerned, that's how we're going to figure out what draft day is. So I need you guys to get over there and vote on the poll as to what draft day. Currently, Saturday, September 3rd, leads the charge there. So get over to the poll and let's figure that out. Just like we did last year with the game of the week, I posted this exact picture. And yes, Jason, just for you, I fixed the week 3 matchup between the Dallas Troll Hunters, not the Dallas Green Hunters, and the Dallas Greenskins. In addition to this picture, which I posted on the league Facebook page, I actually made a thing here in the app, on the ESPN Fantasy app, which I took a little screenshot video of. If you go over to the league tab and then scroll down to this button that says League Info and click on that, you'll see right there the game of the week schedule posted once again. So all of the matchups and everything, it's all right there. and pretty easy day as far as that's concerned. Now, if you don't remember what the game of the week is, the game of the week is just a means for me to be able to make content. I know I make weekly videos and everything. It's just a means for me to focus on one team two teams rather than me having to focus on all 12 teams for our weekly highlight videos. The game of the week consists of a non-monetary bet between the two participants, contestants, if you will, of the game of the week. So you'll make a non-monetary bet with one another, the punishment of which will get posted on the league Facebook page, which is private only to people in the league. And that will be posted on the league Facebook page for everybody to see no later than the following Monday of that particular week. Some last order of business before we get into tonight's festivities. Please, whether you are slated for an audio call or a video call, please do me a favor and make sure that you mute all background devices, whether that be your TV, your computer, any music that you have on, etc. That's just going to make sure, out of respect for others, that we have a nice, smooth presentation here and good sound quality. And last but certainly not least, if you are slated for a video call tonight, please do me a favor and make sure that your phone or whatever it is that you're using is in landscape mode, which you see there on the right. So turn your phone sideways. Make sure it's in landscape mode. That's going to make sure that tonight is a smooth presentation. But other than that, that's all I got. You ready to jump into this?
Ready?
All right, let's do it. So our first team owner that we're going to be figuring out draft position for is none other than the Constipated Leather Daddies. Danny Gilmore, team owner of the Constipated Leather Daddies. That is awesome. I think this is the first time, since we've been doing the Powerball lottery, I think this is the first time that he is the very first person that we're figuring out draft position for. So Danny is great. Danny, I hope that you're ready for your call here. But while we wait on that, let's figure out where Danny's going to be drafting this year.
Let's do it. All right. So Danny, you will be drafting at number 4.
Number 4 is the Constipated Leather Daddies team owner, Danny Gilmore of the Constipated Leather Daddies. I know I already said that. So number 4 is Danny Gilmore this year. That is incredible. Let's give Danny a call and see how he feels about his draft position. Let me just give him a call real quick. This should be great. I messed that up. Heyo, turn your video on.
Can you see me?
No, turn your video on.
Alright, hold on a minute. I gotta pull over somewhere. I end up running a bit late. Hold up here.
Okay.
So no,
That's okay. I've made a few.
in like 2 minutes. Just gotta find
Take the next left to stay on Ohio 4 North.
I'm a little out of sorts. I thought I'd be in a better spot than this. Alright, here's the spot to pull over here.
Good deal. It's okay. I've made a
Are
few.
you actually, is this my pick right now? Or?
Yes, you are drafting number 4, sir. And you were the very first team name drawn.
Get out of here. Hold on.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can't expose my face yet. Otherwise, people will know. Alright. Give me 1 second here. Okay. Where's the camera here? Is my camera on? I can't see.
Your camera is not on, sir, unfortunately, no.
What the hell's going on here?
There should be a little, if you click on your screen, there should be a little camera button that you click.
Yeah, and it says turned off now. Click it, it's turned on. It's weird. I don't know what to tell you, dude.
It just wasn't meant to be, I guess. That's all right. Well, we've got you on the air right now. So how do you feel about drafting number 4 overall this year?
Sounds pretty good. I don't quite know who's going to be available at that time. I was planning on, usually I take my tight end first round, but probably going to be too many goodies at round 4 to be trying to reach for Travis Kelce. So, yeah, probably won't be doing that. So I might have to wait for the second round to try and get a top tight end. But, yeah, there's 1 or 2 guys at 4 I might be interested in that time. So, but I haven't looked at the mock drafts yet or anything. I guess I can take my mask off since you guys can't see me.
Yeah. What a shame.
I know. That's a bummer. Yeah, I'm not even at the wrestling thing yet. I was on a really bad date, and it just went too long.
Oh, no.
You left too.
Wow.
Am I still there?
We're still here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can't see you anymore, but that's okay. It's mutual, I guess. So, yeah, so I'm running late to this midget wrestling thing. But anyway, yeah, number 4. I'll have to start doing some mock drafts to really know what I think of that just yet. So we'll see.
All right. Well, any message for the league?
Nothing prepared at the moment. I'll let my team speak for itself.
Let your team speak for itself. Well, it is a shame. We were looking very forward this year to seeing you clad in your leather garb, sir. But I'm sure that we will not be short on that this year. So, Danny Gilmore, once again, thank you so much for being part of the league. Drafting number 4 in the 2022, no pun intended, fantasy football draft is Danny Gilmore, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, yeah. I'll send you some pictures of me with some midget hookers in a half hour or so.
Oh, I didn't know Tom Shorter was going to be there tonight.
He is going to be there. Yeah, so I'll send you a picture. He looks fantastic.
All right, buddy. Well, hey, thanks again. Good luck this year, sir.
All right, take it easy.
Take care. So once again, that was Danny Gilmore drafting number 4 overall in the 2022, no pun intended, fantasy football season. Just wanted to take a minute to apologize, by the way. I know I kind of clicked around to some screens. I forgot to go into studio mode, where I'm working behind the scenes and whatnot. So sorry about that. But without any further ado, let's get into our second team owner. So the second person we will be determining draft position for is... Looks like we've got... Oh, this is ironic. So we had the Constipated Leather Daddies that we were determining draft position for first. Coming up second who we're determining draft position for is none other than the Bellingham BimBlahSays. Nicholas Blasay, our former champion, team owner of the Bellingham BimBlahSays, the classiest hose in all of fantasy football. That is incredible. I wonder where he's going to be drafting this year. And I think him being back-to-back with the Constipated Leather Daddies, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of banter as far as that's concerned. But anyhow, aside from that, let's go ahead and determine Nick's draft position.
BimBlahSays will be drafting at number 1.
Number 1 overall is the Bellingham BimBlahSays, the classiest hose in all of fantasy football. I just wanted to get a close-up of that. Nick, sir, you are drafting number 1 overall. That is incredible. And I know dating back to the very first ever draft Powerball lottery that we ever did, when we were using that goofy little bingo ball machine from Walmart, Nicholas Blasay was actually the first team name to come up, and he was salty because he didn't get the first overall pick, even though he was the first name to come out of the bucket there. But congratulations, sir. You are going to be drafting number 1 overall this year. Our former champ, the only person to go to back-to-back league championships against our current champion, Lamar Peoples of #MoneyTeam. Let's go ahead and give Nicholas a call here and see how he feels about his draft position.
Yo, what's going on?
Nicholas Blasay, team owner of the Bellingham BimBlahSays. You are going to be drafting number 1 overall in the 2022, no pun intended, fantasy football season. First overall pick. How do you feel about that?
I mean, it's about time.
It's about time, right?
That 1 year.
What's that?
I said I should have had it a couple of years ago.
You should have had it a couple of years ago?
I know you already touched on that, but yeah, it's good.
That's good.
I think I was, the last pick last year, so.
I think you were, either number 11 or number 12. And the year prior to that, I think the year that your name was the first one ever to come up, I believe you were the dead last pick in the draft. But a lot of it's been a crazy turn of events for the Bellingham BimBlahSays. You know, going from that Bimbarella season you had 2 years ago, being one of the, kind of the lower ranked teams in the league, to just those last few weeks of the season absolutely blazing through the competition en route to you being not only the highest scoring squad in the league, all the way up to upsetting Lamar Peoples, who would have otherwise right now been the three-time champion, back-to-back, the three-peat champion. So, and then you had a rematch against him last year, unfortunately ended up being on the losing end. What are your thoughts about that? What are your thoughts about this season?
I think being the number 1 pick is going to help me out. Last year, I kind of got passed up on all the good running backs, so that was a struggle the entire season. So I think this will be good. Like, I can't screw up that first pick.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a lot of pressure on me now, so can't mess it up.
Absolutely. Well, hey, listen, it's always a pleasure to have you in the league, my friend. We're so happy to have you, and I'm actually very stoked for you to be getting this pick. The number 1 overall pick are the Bellingham BimBlahSays team owner, Nicholas BlahSay. Congratulations, sir. Any last-minute thoughts, any message for anybody in the league?
I guess my only message is to you. I hope you save that recipe for the beef fizz, because you might have to be making that pretty soon.
Yeah, that's right. I want to go back to this just so that everybody knows kind of what Nick is talking about here. So if you see on your screen, week 6, Nick and I have the game of the week matchup between him and I. And we've already determined what our game of the week bet is going to be. If you look up beef fizz on Google, that's apparently a drink that they made back in the 1950s or 1960s, something like that. It consists of I think ginger ale, beef stock, lemon juice, and some other really nasty stuff. So whoever loses that matchup will have to not only make the drink on video, but drink the drink in its entirety as their punishment. So definitely looking forward to it, but I'm happy to beat some hoes down.
You should add a shot of whiskey to that.
I think that's fair. I think I'm down. I agree to these terms, sir.
All right, man.
All right. Well, hey, thanks again. Good luck this year.
All right. Take it
Bye.
easy.
Once again, that was Nicholas BlahSay, team owner of the Bellingham BimBlahSays, the classiest hoes in all of fantasy football, drafting number 1 overall this year. Let's get into it. You know what? Let me take a look and see what's going on in the chat here. Jason LaRoche thinks that this draft pick was rigged. This is Tom. So Tom, as a recap here, Danny Gilmore, team owner of the Constipated Leather Daddies, got the number 4 overall draft pick, and the Bellingham BimBlahSays team owner Nicholas BlahSay got the number 1 overall pick. And now we're going to figure out the next team owner. Let's go ahead and get this set up here. The next person we'll be determining draft position for is the Dallas Troll Hunters. Team owner Jason LaRoche of the Dallas Troll Hunters. This one should be interesting. I think this will probably be one of the most lively calls of tonight, is Jason LaRoche of the Dallas Troll Hunters. He was on fire last year. For those of you that don't know, Jason LaRoche actually rebranded his team last year as a result of losing a bet to Mr. John Hawkins, team owner of Fifth Fleet's Demon Barbers. He was Y, ended up having to change his name to something that had a trash can and did not have anything with, the Cowboys logo or anything like that. So Jason found a loophole. He said, you know what? Everybody is a troll. Everybody wants to troll on me. Jason, I think, has pretty much a rivalry with everybody in the league. So Jason just decided that, you know what? Let me use this to my advantage. And I think that it's actually a great branding concept for Mr. LaRoche. Let's find out where he's drafting this year. Number 3. That is crazy. So 3 out of the top 4 picks, Jason LaRoche drafting number 3 overall this year in the 2022, no pun intended, fantasy football season. You know, I honestly feel like this has been kind of a crazy turn of events, right? Like, totally different from what we're seeing in years past as far as who's getting some of those top spots in the draft. I feel like it's kind of getting shaken up, and maybe that's a result of this new beautiful draft Powerball lottery there with this beautiful lady sitting in front of it or sitting next to it. So anyway, that is crazy. Let's go ahead and let's give Jason LaRoche a call to see how he feels about drafting number 3 overall this year. Let's see, he is opting for a voice call. So let's go ahead and do that. So, Dallas Troll Hunters. Where are you? Okay.
The person you are trying to reach is currently unavailable.
The person I'm trying to reach is currently unavailable. Now, I know I did make sure to verify everybody's phone numbers before we started this thing. But you know what? Let me double check just to make sure that we have the right phone number here. Just to make sure that he is online.
Said what in the chat?
Here we go. Okay, I was just using the wrong one. Not a big deal.
I was like, what?
Jason LaRoche, team owner of the Dallas Troll Hunters. You, sir, will be picking number 3 overall in the 2022, no pun intended, fantasy football season. How are you feeling about that, sir?
Oh, it's already over. Zeke is coming to Dallas.
You
Come
think?
on, Zeke, pack your bags.
You said what now?
I said Zeke is coming to Dallas.
Oh, is he?
Come
So
on, pack your bags.
you're already calling your shot, huh? So number 3 overall, you're going to be taking Tamika Elliott?
It's going to be a good season, I'll tell you that.
Yeah?
It is. First, I'm going to win this whole thing against everybody because nobody can stand my way. Texas City, I was a little bit nervous, but she stood down, so smart of her. We're going to have a good time this year, you know. We'll win this thing. As you know, we are the Toilet Bowl champions. So
That is true.
We're able to get our money back.
That is true.
And 40-1 bet. 40-1. I will take them on every day.
Yeah, so Jason, you may have to, to correct me if I'm wrong here, if I'm not remembering the terms correctly. But I believe you have a bet with, who is it, Blake?
Yeah.
Blake Matten. And he bet $1,000 that the Cowboys wouldn't win a Super Bowl this year. And you said that they would. If Blake wins, you have to pay him if Blake wins, you have to pay him $1,000. But if...
No.
How is this going again?
If Blake wins, then I owe him, because the Cowboys have to win the Super Bowl. It's one of the hardest things to do. So if Blake wins, I owe him $100.
Oh, that's right.
If he loses, he owes me $4,000.
That's what it was. I'm sorry. Correct. Yeah. So you owe Blake $100. That's right. I was thinking of like the bet that I made, the joke bet that I made with you with Michael Gallup, the 50-1 odds bet. So that is correct. So Blake Matten, team owner of the Chicago Spirit Fingers, bet Mr. LaRoche here that the Cowboys wouldn't win the Super Bowl. And if Blake wins, Jason has to pay him $100. But if the Cowboys do pull it off, Blake Matten has to pay Jason LaRoche $4,000 cold hard cash. Feeling pretty good. And for those of you that don't know, look at it. What's that?
I think Vegas odds put him at 20-1.
So the odds might actually be in your favor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know, just looking at the screen here, so I have some pretty interesting graphics of Mr. LaRoche. On the far left of your screen, that is actually the Dallas Troll Hunters logo that we had talked about. You know, he's got the troll in the trash can with a target on his head, hunting him down. What you see there in the middle is actually an interview that we did with Jason LaRoche. Will we see that mask again at any point this season?
You know, I can't tell you that. That's something that me and the back office have been discussing, and we will see how it rolls.
We'll see how it rolls.
I wouldn't be surprised by it, so I will say.
Yeah?
So.
All right, well, I got to ask you, how are you feeling about your Game of the Week matchups this year? Looks like on tap you have, let me just scroll back to that. So, looks like week 3 you have the highly anticipated matchup between the Dallas Troll Hunters and the Dallas Greenskins. And what's that?
Oh, it said the Dallas Greenskins. Always get someone's confused with the Amazon tree frogs.
The Amazon tree frogs. Yeah, so Stephen Palace, how are you feeling? You have kind of a battle for Dallas in that matchup. How are you feeling about that?
If you need someone to take the new guy's ego down a little bit, I'm the man to do it.
That's fair. I'm telling you, he's a dangerous fantasy footballer. I'll tell you from personal experience. And then week 5, you have a matchup against Adam Siflinger of the ATL Liens. How are you feeling about that matchup?
They put up a good contest. I think I beat this guy, but it wasn't by much. It was like by 0.34 or something ridiculous. So,
okay.
Yeah, but that's gonna be a good match. A lot of respect to him, but where's it at? Is it at my house?
What's that?
Where's it at? On that game 5?
Yep, week 3 and week 5.
Okay, so yeah, we're ready. The number 3 position can't complain too much there. So
good deal. Well, any last minute thoughts for the league as a whole?
Yeah, number 1 is I have a lot of people saying that I'm the troll, and it's like, you're supposed to be the troll hunter, not the troll. And you know what? Art of war, buddy. To know thy enemy, think like thy enemy.
Know
there
that.
you go. I never actually read the book, but I've seen the cover in the library. Okay, when the library was more like a Walmart, but I did it, and it counts.
Know thy enemy, think like thy enemy. I think that is a great quote, sir. Wise words from a wise man. I know he's probably sipping a cool Dr. Pepper and Mountain Dew Code Red at the same time right now. But Jason, thank you so much for your time, my friend. Best of luck this year.
All right.
Take care.
Later, man.
Bye. So once again, that was Jason LaRoche, team owner of the Dallas Troll Hunters. Definitely one of the more talkative people in the league, someone that you know is never going to be short on trash talk. Jason LaRoche, ladies and gentlemen. That is awesome. We're going to do one more pick, and then we'll do a quick recap of the first 4 picks. We'll kind of go every 4 picks. I'll do a recap of where we are with draft positions. But with that, let's hop into our next person. Coming up next is the Carroll's Exotic Biters. Tom Schroeder, team owner of Carroll's Exotic Biters. Now, I might know somebody that he had a rivalry with at one point or another. I wonder who that could be. But we won't talk about that. Anyhow, Tom Schroeder is a great fantasy football player. He hasn't had much luck this year, or really too much in his time, and no pun intended, but I will tell you, as a former 6-time fantasy football champion, Tom Schroeder is definitely not somebody to mess with. And he's got Tigers on his side now. And Carol Baskins, that bitch, Carol Baskins, I hope that she dies. All right. Anyway, let's figure out where Tom is drafting this year. That one was a little bit more wild than the other ones.
All right, Tom, you're going to be drafting in at number 5.
Number 5. Wow, the high draft picks just come flying off.
Yeah.
Tom Schroeder picking at number 5 this year. That is incredible. Jeez. So 4 out of the top 5 picks in the draft have already been determined, with the latest being Mr. Tom Schroeder of Carroll's Exotic Biters. Let's see how he feels about being number 5 overall in the 2022, no pun intended, fantasy football draft. And let's see, he is actually going to be doing an audio call.
Hello?
Hey, Tom Schroeder, team owner, or at least, let me, you know what? Just to be safe because of the issue that we had last year, is this Tom?
If you can hear me, I can't hear you.
You can't hear me? Hello? 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 Tom? Well, let's try that again. Always the technical difficulties with Tom Schroeder.
Hello?
Can you hear me now, Tom? Oh, Tom.
I'm still having issues hearing you if you're there. This is Tom.
Okay, I'll tell you what, Tom. Let me call you on. Let me just do a Facebook audio call with you.
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me? Tom. Tom. He's the only person we've had this issue with. Yes, hello, Tom. Okay. Well, we're just going to do a Facebook call with Tom. How about that? He's the only person so far that we've had this issue with. But that's all right. Love you, Tom. We're going to get this figured out one way or another, my friend. So I'm just going to find him on Facebook here. And we'll do it that way.
Next is always biting ears.
He's always biting ears.
He has no ears.
Hello?
Mr. Tom Schroeder, can you hear me now, sir?
I can definitely hear you.
All right. Tom Schroeder, team owner of Carroll's Exotic Biters. You are going to be drafting number 5 overall in the 2022, no pun intended, fantasy football season. How you feeling about that, sir?
I'm okay with it. It's kind of a little bit more towards the middle than I was hoping for, but I think I could make it work.
Yeah? Okay. Yeah, so number 5 overall. I know you've had, like I said, kind of talking about in the stream there, you've had kind of a string of bad luck, as far as your success thus far in the league. But I've definitely known you to be a very dominant fantasy football player in years past. So, yeah, I have no doubt that you'll do well, sir. How you feeling about kind of the new makeup of the league, just with the people that we have, with the new addition of the Dallas Greenskins, and just overall, now that you have a little, do you remember where you drafted last year?
I think I was kind of towards the middle of the pack last year, too.
Okay. Well, so then you should be very comfortable, sir. I know, like I said, it's been a string of bad luck. What are you feeling now with the number 5 overall draft pick? How can you use that to your advantage and, turn things around this year?
I've definitely been running more mock drafts than I have in previous years. I'm paying attention to multiple training camps right now. As I stated earlier in the chat, things are being switched up throughout the league. Players, bets signed in different places, and a lot of young new blood come into the game. I feel like I've got a pretty good read on what positions are there, who a lot of the sleepers are, and what may be happening this year. But of course, anything happens any given Sunday. So I'm gonna make it work to the best of my abilities. I'm kind of bummed out that Saxon Pity chickened out again this year. Didn't want to come back and have to face me. I feel like I'm more ready than I've ever been, and I'm ready to take MoneyTeam down. He's kind of sleeping on everybody else right now, talking about how, he hasn't had any issues with us in previous years, but I'm coming for him.
You're coming for him.
To get the win.
And I'm actually glad that you brought up #MoneyTeam because you have both of your game of the week matchups are actually towards the back end of the season. First one being actually against #MoneyTeam in week 10. So any early on ideas, for the bet that you'll be making with Mr. Peoples?
I know he was talking about doing something with his bet that he lost last year and having me reap his consequences. So that's definitely in play this year. We'll see how that all works out. But, yeah,
Gotcha. And then, of course, your second game of the week is only 2 weeks later against Fifth Fleet's Demon Barbers, team owner John Hawkins in week 12. Any thoughts on that matchup?
I'm actually a little bit more concerned about that matchup than I am about #MoneyTeam.
Really?
Yeah, I think Fifth Fleet is one of those guys whose team is kind of being slept on. He doesn't say a whole lot, but when he is playing, his team is a force to be reckoned with. So I'm looking out for that game. We'll see what happens as far as game of the week bets and stuff go, but I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Well, hey, Tom, thank you so much for your time, my friend. Tell Mrs. Schroeder, Hannah, that I said hello. We miss you guys. We miss Washington State a whole heck of a lot. So, but yeah, thanks for your time, buddy.
Sounds good, man. I'll talk to you later.
Take care.
You
Bye.
too.
And once again, that was Mr. Tom Schroeder of Carroll's Exotic Biters, ladies and gentlemen. Always a force to be reckoned with. You know, I just got to put the camera here on Miss Bethany for just a second, because she, the rivalry that he was talking about, for those of you that don't know, I'm pretty sure everybody in here, but maybe Steven knows. But Miss Bethany had a little rivalry going on with Tom for a little while there.
He did. Two game sweep.
Yep. So Mrs. Bethany Horn, as team owner of Sacks in the City, is 2-0 against Tom Schroeder. But anyhow, what's that?
Yes, I am. Proudly.
Yes, proudly. 2-0 against Tom Schroeder of Carroll's Exotic Biters. All right. Well, with that, what do you think? You think we should? Oh, you know what? Let's jump in and let's do a little recap here of the first 4 draft picks that have been called. So drafting number 1 overall are the classiest hoes in all of fantasy football, the Bellingham BimBlahSays, team owner Nicholas BlahSay, as he'll look to shake his tits and hoe his way into a one-night stand with the league championship. Coming in at number 3 overall is Jason LaRoche of the Dallas Troll Hunters. And he should be feeling pretty good about the no potato fantasy football season with the number 3 overall draft pick, buddy. Yoo! And then coming in at number 4 is Danny Gilmore, team owner of the Constipated Leather Daddies, which it was kind of ironic that Danny was, the first name that we picked out, and then right after him is his ex-girlfriend, the Bellingham BimBlahSays. And of course, at number 5, we had just spoken to Mr. Tom Schroeder of Carroll's Exotic Biters. So with that, let's hop into the next name. Drum roll. The next person we'll be figuring out draft position for is none other than, he mentioned it, #MoneyTeam, our defending champion, Lamar Peoples of #MoneyTeam. Now, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to get his reaction to his draft position tonight. He just messaged me about a half hour before the show and let me know that he has some personal things that he had to kind of get buttoned up tonight. So we won't be getting his reaction tonight, but I will be scheduling an interview with him at a later date to get his reaction to his draft position. But nevertheless, let's figure out where the defending champion, #MoneyTeam, Lamar Peoples is drafting. But before that, I do remember he did have a message that he wanted me to share with the rest of the league from Mr. Peoples, and I quote, "I see teams are not putting respect on my name. However, #MoneyTeam will be ready to collect cash from everyone and repeat as your league champion." So strong words from a strong man, but I got to say, not if I have anything to say about it, buddy. I know it's been a little bit of a topsy-turvy past couple of seasons for the St. Louis Lot Lizards, but everybody's going to be coming for you this year, Mr. Lamar. But one thing about Mr. Lamar Peoples that we do know, he is dominant. He holds the league record for consecutive fantasy football championship appearances. Every year that he has been in the league, he has been to the league championship, winning his first year, losing his second year against the aforementioned Bellingham BimBlahSays, and then last year in a rematch against those very same BimBlahSays, got his trophy back. It's safe with him, but let's figure out where he's drafting this year.
MoneyTeam, you will be drafting this year at number 10.
Number 10 is defending champion Lamar Peoples of #MoneyTeam. I'll put that up on the screen for you, buddy, So you can see right up close, number 10 overall is the defending champion, Mr. Lamar Peoples of #MoneyTeam. You know, it's going to be interesting, kind of looking back at his game of the weeks here. Let me take a look at that real quick. His game of the week matchup should be interesting. Actually, I have a game of the week matchup against him in week, let me see, I forget what week that was. Week number 4, the St. Louis Lot Lizards will be going up against #MoneyTeam. We haven't figured out our bet yet, but I'm sure it's probably going to be something relatively close to the bet that I made. And I hope that he'll share the YouTube video, but there was actually a bet that he and I had, not fantasy football related, but rather related to the Dallas Cowboys themselves. So Lamar bet that the Dallas Cowboys were going to be winning the first round, their first game of the playoffs against the San Francisco 49ers. And I said, nay, no, they're not. So obviously he ended up winning, and his punishment was that he had to wear a Tamika Elliott style crop top and drink a Steel Reserve beer, because as we all know, he is just a monster craft brew aficionado, and he had to do a full-length karaoke cover of It's Raining Men. It's a hilarious video. I'll share the link in the group chat if anybody wants to check it out, but it's just a great time. So, anyhow, sorry, what's up? Go ahead, Miss Bethany.
So, in the chat, Nicholas BimBlahSays, team owner of BimBlahSays, he says that MoneyTeam about to give BimBlahSays his money team.
Oh, snap. Yeah, that's right.
Got some talking there. Jason LaRoche says, here comes the money.
Yep. And Nicholas BimBlahSays, he says, Jason LaRoche has agreed to donate his $4,000 if he wins to bet and win his bet to football team fans affected by the ass whooping at FedEx Field last year between the Cowboys and the football team. And LaRoche says, oh, I thought he meant trying to buy fans for attendance in Washington. Trying is the key word. That is a true story. If anybody that doesn't know, and Nick, maybe you can expand on this here in the live chat, but attendance at the Washington football team, Commanders, Commies, Foreskins, whatever they are, there was like 4 or 5 people at Redskins training camp, like fans in attendance there. So maybe you can kind of explain that a little bit, but it was a pretty poor showing, kind of akin to, the people that were there, or lack thereof, should I say, of folks that were there, to greet the Rams whenever they came back from their Super Bowl victory. So anyhow, all right, well, we're just about halfway through the order here. So let's figure out who the next person is in this year's draft that we're going to be figuring out draft position for. So the next person we will be determining draft position for is none other than Miles Hart, team owner of the Emancipated Thunder Jockeys. Ready to drink beer in a bloodlust for victory. No, Miles is another guy. He is a great fantasy football player. I think that in his own way, I mean, everybody knows that he's dominant, but I think even so, Miles is one of the more underrated people in the league. I've watched him go from being just barely scraping his way into the playoffs to absolutely dominating. I remember one year he went into the playoffs of his league as the number 6 seed and still ended up winning a fantasy football championship. So there's definitely no doubt that Mr. Miles Hart is an absolute dominant fantasy football player. Unfortunately, he can't be here tonight either. He is actually celebrating his anniversary with his wife, but we are nevertheless very excited for him. Congratulations, by the way, Mr. and Mrs. Hart, on your anniversary. I never had a chance to meet his wife, but she sounds like a very nice lady. Hey, anybody that's, agrees to take Miles has got to be a good lady, right? So anyhow, let's figure out where Miles is going to be drafting this year. Number 9. So we have the number 9. So this is like kind of a topsy-turvy thing. We have a lot of the, top overall picks, as you can see right there, Mr. Miles, number 9 this year in this year's draft. So kind of a topsy-turvy type of situation, right? So we've had some of the top picks go first, and now we have like some of the bottom ones that are getting scattered in with a couple of middle ones in between. So this has definitely been a very interesting draft Powerball lottery. Let's see no, let's not see his reaction to his draft position. I'm sorry about that. He is unavailable. He's celebrating with his wife. But again, I will schedule a call with him at some point to figure out where he's going to be drafting. I know he has some pretty intense game of the week matchups that he's going to be talking about and everything. I think, me personally, why I say he's a little bit underrated, I think that Miles might be one of, if not the most slept on and most dangerous fantasy football player in this league. So we'll see how Miles does this year. Good luck to you, sir. And with that, let's figure out the next person we're determining draft position for. The next person that we will be determining draft position for is... We've already gotten the Dallas Troll Hunters. Now how about our newcomer, Mr. Stephen Pallas of the Dallas Greenskins. Stephen is a great fantasy football player and great friend of mine. I know I kind of made a video for him to explain how I know all of you all, but now let me talk about how I know Stephen Pallas. So Stephen Pallas is a very good friend of mine from Texas that I grew up with. His cousin is who I really know him more through, his cousin Hunter. But Stephen and I went to school together. We were actually both, at one point at separate times, lead singers of the same band. You know, kind of fun little bad blood there for a little while, but everything's all good now. He's a great person. His family is always super hospitable to me anytime I go to Texas. And so we're very excited to have the Dallas Greenskins this year. Now let's find out where they're fucking drafting.
You will be drafting in at number 8.
Number 8, Stephen Pallas of the Dallas Greenskins in his no punt intended fantasy football league debut will be drafting number 8 this year. That is awesome. Very excited to see how Stephen feels about his draft position. So let's go ahead and let's give him a call. He'll be our first video reaction of tonight. I'm vibing. Come on, Steven, you're up, buddy. Steven. If not, I have his phone number. We'll give him a phone call. Oh, okay. She says call me. So I just got a message from his wife. Says call me. So, oh, wait. What's that? What's that? Oh, it's Messenger. All right. So I don't have... Okay. This is going to be more or less a voice call. Let me see if I can do a screen sharing thing here. Allow. Shoot. There he is, Mr. Stephen Pallas. What's up, dude?
Hey, what's up?
Not too much. Hey, happy to see. Do you have your Skype working by chance?
I don't. My phone just died.
Oh shoot. Okay.
Yeah, I was kind of out here at my parents. I didn't really. I had a birthday party to go to, and I thought my phone was going to be okay. I had it plugged in my car, but.
Well, I tell you what. Let me try something here. While I've got you on the line, maybe we can still get kind of a pseudo video call here. Let me try something here real quick. Well, nope. Okay. So I'm going to go into studio mode. Anyhow, you were going to be drafting, sir, number 8 overall. How are you feeling about the number 8 overall draft pick?
Number 8, I like that. That's really like, it's not as the middle of the pack. I mean, I'm not going to get stuck. Like, I'm not going to be towards the front of the order and having to, wait for everybody to cycle through before I pick another one. So it's a good place to get some value too. So
absolutely.
I'm all right with that.
Well, there he is. There's his beautiful face, Mr. Stephen Pallas of the Dallas Greenskins, making his league debut. to the, oops, let me pull this up here a little bit, maybe. Because it looks kind of goofy on the display there. Trying to get your...
That might just be my face.
No, you're doing fine. Okay. That's about as good as I think we're going to get it.
Hey, all right.
Anyhow.
Oh, and there's my son.
And there he is. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Stephen Palace to the No Punt Intended Fantasy Football League, drafting number 8 overall. He is very excited about that. How are you feeling this year? I know this is going to be a little bit different. You know, your first Powerball lottery in the league. How are you feeling about your Game of the Week matchup with Mr. Jason LaRoche of the Dallas Troll Hunters in Week 3?
I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. Like, as a fellow Cowboy fan, I really appreciate his spirit. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm a really big fan of just, like, testing myself against some of the best competition. And I really feel like this league is going to be filled with some of the toughest competition I've had playing fantasy football. So, and regardless of what happens, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm just kind of hoping to gain some respect and have a little fun, you know.
Absolutely. Well, you look great, my friend. Looks like you've definitely been pumping some iron. You got the awesome Hawaiian luau. I'm assuming that had something to do with the birthday party there.
Yeah, you know.
All right.
Gotta get swole, man.
Looking good, my friend. Looking good. Well, hey, man, it was great talking to you again. Definitely hoping to be back down in Texas to, you know, kind of hang out with you in person, hopefully sometime soon. So,
Yeah,
absolutely. All right, my friend. Well, thank you. Say what?
I was originally going to have a special representative to take this call and kind of go over and, you know, just kind of be kind of a mascot, but I kind of got caught in this situation, so I'm just gonna be me now, I guess.
Hey, you know what? You're owning it, and I can dig it, my friend. So, hi, Lauren. There's Mrs. Palace. We're very excited to have Steven in the league, making his league debut this year. We'll definitely, we'll see if the Dallas Greenskins can hip-hop their way to victory. Yay! All right, you take it easy, buddy.
All right, man. You take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Rick.
Take care. So once again, that was Stephen Palace, team owner of the Dallas Greenskins. Unfortunately, I had some technical difficulties getting him there on a Skype call, but we were able to make it work. So definitely excited to have him as part of the league this year. All right. Well, let's take another stroll down our draft board so far. You know what? I forgot to update him, but I will go ahead and update that live as we speak here. So the Dallas Greenskins will be drafting at number 8. All right, so number 1, Bellingham BimBlahSays, team owner Nicholas Blasay. Drafting number 3 of the Dallas Troll Hunters with team owner Jason LaRoche. Number 4, the Constipated Leather Daddies with team owner Danny Gilmore. Number 5, team owner Thomas Schroeder of the Carroll's Exotic Biters. Drafting number 8, just who we talked to, Mr. Stephen Palace of the Dallas Greenskins. Number 9 are the Emancipated Thunder Jockeys, team owner Miles Hart. And last but certainly not least, our defending league champion, Mr. Lamar Peoples of #MoneyTeam. So we're, you know, like I said, this is a tough league, a lot of competition, but we're very excited to have everybody here on the draft board so far. So without any further ado, let's get into our next person. Things are starting to look a little, starting to get down to our last few. Up next is your ATL Liens. Adam Siflinger, team owner of the ATL Liens down in Georgia, not too far away from where Bethany and I live. So he's a very good friend of both Bethany and I, you know, so I wanted to give her a chance to kind of wave and say hello here to Adam. But Adam is a great friend of mine. Both he and I were in the same division in boot camp for the United States Navy. We're both AZs in the Navy, so we were both in A school together. And then when his squadron, his first command, he went down to Lemoore, California. I ended up in Whidbey Island, Washington. And then both of us ended up on the same ship for our first deployment. Then both eventually made our way down to San Diego as well. He's out of the Navy, but kind of a guy that, you know, up until he got out of the Navy, we kind of followed each other, you know, throughout our entire early time in the Navy there. So without any further ado, let's find out where Mr. Siflinger is drafting this year. The ATL Liens getting ready to probe all of the competition. Number 2 overall is Adam Siflinger of the ATL Liens. That is crazy. Number 2 overall, Mr. Adam. That's awesome. I think that this might be the single highest draft position that Adam has ever had since joining this league. But anyhow, let's figure out how he feels about drafting number 2 overall. Getting ready to, hopefully he's not probing anybody right now, but you never know. Ashley, well, no comment. We just won't go there.
Hello?
Adam Siflinger, team owner of the ATL Liens, or should I say A2 Liens, because you, sir, are going to be drafting number 2 overall in the 2022, no pun intended, fantasy football draft. How do you feel about that, sir?
I'm super stoked about that one.
Yeah?
What's up, Rick?
Hey, Ashley, how's it going?
Good, how are you? We miss you guys.
We miss you guys as well.
This is on live stream, by the way.
Okay.
Okay, and that's my sister from another mister you're talking to right there.
Thank you, Rick.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bring on, brother.
Yeah. So number 2 overall are the ATL Liens. So I believe this will be able to, or this will allow you to be able to extend your probe further than it's been probed before. So, yeah, number 2 overall, man. How you feel?
Oh, I'm going fist deep this season, my friend.
You're going fist deep this season. Oof.
Yeah.
That sounds rough.
Deeper than a VFA 113 Stingers.
Then the VFA 113 Stingers, Mr. Adam Siflinger's first command with the United States Navy. So I'm looking at, let's take a look here at the Game of the Week schedule, because I can't remember who you had for the Game of the Week. But it looks like week 5, you actually have a matchup against our league newcomer, the Dallas Greenskins team owner, Stephen Pallas. And then actually the second week of the season, you'll be taking on Miles Hart of the Emancipated Thunder Jockeys. So how are you feeling about those matchups?
Well, to be honest, they're in a lot of trouble this season. I just have a feeling. I think this is my season, and I'm ready to take ownership.
Yeah? You're going to take them further into intergalactic depths than they've ever been taken before, huh?
Yeah, I'm gonna stick that deep fist into their black hole.
Any ideas for a Game of the Week bet for those two?
I'm not there.
I haven't even gone that far, Rick. We'll have to start exploring those avenues once we get closer to the actual draft.
All right. Well, fair enough, my friend. Well, hey, it was good to hear from you again. Hopefully we can plan some time to meet up with you guys, maybe meet halfway on a road trip or something. But we talk about you guys all the time. Definitely miss you. And damn it, we need some friends anyway down here. So it's definitely a long overdue visit.
All right. Well, thanks, Rick. I appreciate it. Thanks, Bethany. You guys have a great evening.
Bye.
Bye, Ashley.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
All right, once again, that was Mr. Adam Siflinger and his lovely wife, Ashley, team owner of the A2 Liens, drafting number 2 overall in the 2022, just 2s flying all over the place, in the 2022, no pun intended, fantasy football draft. We are down to, let me see here, 1, 2, 3. We're down to 4, our final 4 picks of the 2022 draft. That's crazy. Let's figure out who they are. Next up is the Florida Swamp Donkeys. Team owner Kyle Curry of the Florida Swamp Donkeys, formerly, let me hold that up a little bit closer. Right there, the Florida Swamp Donkeys. Formerly of Tebow's Before Hose, who went through a complete overhaul this season. He's had trash luck. He's been a borderline midget hooker, but this past year, Robert DeCero, team owner of the Shaggy Carpet Munchers, who are no longer with us, was the midget hooker of the year last year. And then, of course, we all know Tom, who just loves midget hookering it up at midget wrestling events and the like past couple of years. But Kyle's been right down there. He's been pretty close. In fact, I want to say his first year in the league, Kyle was the midget hooker of the year. If you don't know what the midget hooker of the year is, that is whoever finishes dead last in the league. And we actually have a t-shirt that is flying around. And you know what? Before I forget, well, I didn't arrange with him tonight, but I wanted to have, I wanted to see, you know what? Actually, I'm going to try it. I'm going to see if I can give, no, I'm not. It's my fault. I didn't arrange it with him. But the original plan was I was going to have Robert DeCero come on, even though he's not in the league, to wear the shirt, for the draft Powerball lottery. That's my fault. I dropped the ball on that. But we'll do a little video with him or something and have him show the t-shirt. He's going to ship that around to whoever the midget hooker of the year this year is. So Kyle Curry, unfortunately, he actually texted me during the show. He had a family emergency that he had to attend to. So thoughts and prayers out to you, brother. I hope everything is going well. But nevertheless, let's figure out where Mr. Kyle Curry is going to be drafting this year. Number 7 is Kyle Curry, formerly of Tebow's Before Hose, now the Florida Swamp Donkeys, drafting at number 7 this year. That is incredible. Let me just go ahead and update the draft results here, and then we'll move on to our next pick. So, Kyle Curry, I know another thing about him is he had almost a little mini pseudo rivalry with Mrs. Bethany Horn here, because Kyle, for those of you that don't know, is a huge, and I mean absolutely huge, Florida Gators fan. Boo, says Mrs. Bethany Horn.
Go Noles.
Boo, says Mrs. Go ahead and say that again.
Go Noles.
I know. What were you doing before that, though?
Oh, boo.
Boo, and then she's going to do the Florida chop there. That's awesome. So, no, but my wife here is a big Florida State Seminoles fan.
You said Florida chop. You know better.
My apologies. You're right. Where are my manners? She is a big Florida State Seminoles fan, and Kyle Curry is a big Florida Gators fan. I actually went with him right before I left for boot camp to a Final Four, or excuse me, was it Elite 8 or Final Four? I'm not sure. But anyway, there was like some March Madness basketball going on that I went with him to at the Dallas Cowboys Stadium. And Jason LaRoche, and I guess Stephen Palace for this matter, I will give you this much. As much as I absolutely hate the Dallas Cowboys, I will lend credit where credit is due. They do have a fantastic stadium. So I'll give you that much. But anyhow, Kyle Curry, once again, my brother, we are hoping that everything is going well. You know, with whatever you have going on right now, thoughts and prayers out to you, my friend. We'll look at touching base with you another time to figure out your reaction to your draft position. With that, we are down to the final 3. The final 3. So let's figure out who the first of those final 3 are. Is it going to be the number 6, the number 11, or number 12? So we have like the dead middle, like right smack dab in the middle order of the draft, and then the last 2 picks of the draft. So, all right. Coming up next is your 5th Fleet's Demon Barbers. Team owner John Hawkins of 5th Fleet's Demon Barbers. He is an incredible fantasy football player. And Mr. Steven, if you're still watching, my friend, how he got his nickname, he was originally the Bama Boat Snacks. He's a big Alabama fan. And during deployment, he used to go take like snacks like from the, down in the cafeteria area on the ship that we call the galley. And he'd have a whole a whole drawer full of snacks. So Bama Boat Snacks. Well, now he is 5th Fleet's Demon Barbers, because on deployment they have, and my Navy buddies, maybe you can speak up to this as well in the chat there, which I'm sorry I haven't been keeping up with as much. But on the ship, they have people that are like voluntold to be barbers on the ship, and they usually do a terrible job. And so John actually had a pair of clippers of his own and was, cutting hair for people so they didn't have to go to the ship's barber. I'll be honest, he wasn't great at first, but I had faith in him. I let him keep cutting my hair until eventually he did a pretty good job. And we had operations out in 5th Fleet. So that's where, the whole 5th Fleet's Demon Barbers came in. So anyhow, let us figure out where Mr. John Hawkins is going to be drafting this year. Number 12 is Mr. John Hawkins of 5th Fleet's Demon Barbers. That's not a bad spot. I know a lot of people sometimes hate the dead end of the draft. But I've got to say, number 12 is not bad at all because you're right there at the turn. You get 2 picks in a row, so not bad whatsoever. Mr. John Hawkins of Fifth Fleet's Demon Barbers. He is going to be our first official, hopefully, Skype video call that we do tonight. So let's figure out how he feels about his draft position. Let's see here. Mr. John Hawkins, where are you? Right there. Turn your video on.
What's going on?
What's up, buddy? Hey, turn your video on.
I am driving right now.
Oh, shoot. Oh, snap. Okay. Well, I guess this one's going to be an audio call then. Not a big deal. Well, Mr. John Hawkins, team owner of Fifth Fleet's Demon Barbers, where do you think you're going to be drafting this year?
I haven't been watching the video lately, so, I mean, hopefully 2 is still on the board. I was hoping either 2 or something late, like 11 or 12.
Well, you are in luck, my friend, because you are going to be drafting number 12 overall in the 2022, no pun intended, fantasy football draft.
That is good. I like that.
You like that? You like the number 12 position?
Yeah, I like that.
Good.
Up on the first one, but it's cool. We don't re-up on the second. That's fine.
Hey, it's not a bad position at all because, like I said, you're drafting right there at the turn, so you get 2 picks in a row. Not a bad spot at all to be. And, I've got to ask you, I know that we do the game of the week now, and it looks like you have matchups. Let's see here. Your first game of the week matchup is in week 7 against the Emancipated Thunder Jockeys. How are you feeling about that?
I mean, the Thunder Jockeys are actually pretty good. I kind of fucked with them. I think they had me beat twice last year. We ain't going to let that happen again.
Yeah, that's true. And, sir, I've got to remind you, you still, your punishment from last year's game of the week against Mr. Miles Hart is still due, my friend. What's that?
I do. I kind of talked to you about that yesterday, actually. Yesterday or the day before, something like that.
I got you.
But
hopefully we'll see that soon. Well, you're slated to go against him to hopefully get some redemption this year. And then the final week of the season, week 12, against Carroll's Exotic Biters team owner, Tom Schroeder, will be your week 12 game of the week opponent. How you feel about that matchup?
Yeah, we're not worried about that. We ain't worried about that at all.
You're not worried about it whatsoever, huh?
Yeah, that's a wash. Let them know.
Fair enough. Well, hey, I don't want to distract you while you're driving, my friend. Thank you so much for your time. Good luck this year.
Sure. I'll get you guys that video soon.
All right. Take care, buddy.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. Once again, that was John Hawkins, team owner of Fifth Fleet's Demon Barbers. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to show the cool graphic that I have for the live draft position reaction. But hey, it is what it is. We are down to our final 2. And really with this next pick, we're going to know what both of the next 2 picks are and who they belong to. But let's figure out who the first of those names will be. I believe the last 2 are just me and Blake. Yeah. Me and Blake Matten. So the St. Louis team and the Chicago team are the last ones to figure out where they're going to be drafting this year. So I tell you what, we'll have the queen of the scoreboard do it.
All right. Let's see. All right. Do you want to read it?
You go ahead.
Okay. So the next pick is going to be the St. Louis Lot Lizards.
Woohoo! I'll do a reaction right now. Woohoo! Actually, I don't want to cheer just yet because I don't know where I'm drafting. But let's figure out where I'm drafting this year, and then I'll get my reaction from me to see how I feel about my draft position. It should be interesting. I may argue about it with me. I don't know. I'm kind of an asshole. So let's find out.
All right. Love, you are going to be drafting in at number 11.
Number 11. I'm not too mad about that. I was hoping if I wasn't going to get one of the earlier picks, I was hoping to be drafting either at the 11 or 12 right there at the turn. So number 11 is the St. Louis Lot Lizards. Let's see if Bethany can give him a call and see how Rick Horn feels about his draft position. Hello?
Beep, beep, beep.
I'm just kidding. I'm not going to put her through that. I'm not going to put her through that. So with that, obviously, we know where Blake Matton, team owner of the Chicago Spirit Fingers, is going to be drafting. He is our final person here that we're going to be determining draft position for. I wonder where he's going to be determining or where his draft position is going to be. But we're going to do it because you know what? We still have a bingo ball in there. I still built this damn machine. Let's figure out where Blake Matton of the Chicago Spirit Fingers will be drafting this year. You don't have to do that. Just
No?
yeah, put it up right.
Okay. Alright. Blake.
Oh.
Well, I dropped
Oh
it.
man.
You can do it again.
The tension heightens. The plot thickens.
Blake, you're going to be drafting in at number 6.
Number 6 is the cheering man, Mr. Blake Matton himself of the Chicago Spirit Fingers and also host of the BAM Sports Show. Once again, I know I put a plug in it for this at the beginning of the show, but if you are not plugged into the BAM Sports Show on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, you're wrong. Okay, go check out our website or check out our merch. I posted the link in the group chat there. So we've got some t-shirts, we got some hoodies, some coffee cups, and some tumblers. Pretty soon, hopefully, we'll have some hats and some other cool things. So anyway, let's give Blake a call and see how he feels about drafting in the middle of the order at number 6 this year. I'm vibing. Yo, Mr. Blake Matton of the Chicago Spirit Fingers. You are going to be drafting with a matching t-shirt right in the middle of the order at number 6 overall this year. How are you feeling about that, my friend?
You know, they say to save the best for last, but I truly didn't realize that they were actually going to do it.
That's true. I mean, I'm right there at the end.
So, I got a couple of notes. You know, Jason, my friend, we made a bet in which you're going to have to pay me $100. I'm willing. Venmo me tonight, $30. Buy me a case of beer with a note that says "Cowboys suck." I'll save you $70, dude.
Yeah.
It's going to happen either way.
Yeah. So number 6 overall. I did not expect that for you. I've got to be honest. That's definitely an interesting draft position for you. But I mean, hey, worse things could happen. You know, you could be the midget hooker of the year, like Rob was this year, and like Tom was the year prior. You know, so any thoughts on?
I look at 6 as I look at 6 as the elite spot in the draft.
Really, why is that?
The snake. Think about it. I'm not having to wait 23 picks in between picks, so I'm okay with 6.
You're okay with 6,
especially when you know trash ass running backs are going at least 3. So,
hey, fair enough. So, any thoughts on any rivalries this year?
You know, Rick, I joined the league last year. I made the playoffs my first year, and then St. Louis kicked me out, and it's just not been sitting right with me. I live in St. Louis. I got a respect for St. Louis, but you know, I don't call myself a hunter, but there might be a target this year.
Oh man. Okay. Well, listen, we are happy to stomp some cheerleader ass anytime that we have to, just like we did last year. I'm not sure why your video keeps shrinking down like that, but we'll keep. Oh, really? Yeah. Okay. But either way, I'm gonna let's take a look at your game of the week matchups and see how you feel about those as well. So it looks like your game of the week matchups are a little bit different this year. Looks like we've got you slated in week 1, the very first week of the season, against the Constipated Leather Daddies with fellow BAM Sports Show aficionado Danny Gilmore in week 1. How you feel about that?
I feel strong. Danny is a formidable opponent, but that's about all he is.
Really? Well, I mean, he
I'm
is.
stressed.
I mean, but think about it. You've got a team full of teeny bopper cheerleaders against a leather daddy. No thoughts about that?
Well, Rick, one of us hosts a sports podcast, one of us hosts a comedy show. So you do the math, my friend.
Hey, that's a very fair point. And it looks like you also have a Week 11 matchup against the Florida Swamp Donkeys. So looks like we got cheerleaders versus Swamp Donkeys there in Week 11. How you feeling about that one?
Well, when's the last time Florida beat Alabama? So we'll leave it there.
Touche.
A man of few words is a winning man, my friend. Especially during SummerSlam.
During SummerSlam, yep. All right, my friend. Well, hey, listen, it's always a pleasure. I'm done fooling with this damn screen. I don't know why it keeps shrinking. but hey, thank you for your time. Again, if you haven't checked out our podcast, the BAM Sports Show, last night was a great episode. Blake tried to pitch me on becoming a Chicago Bears fan there. So we'll see what happens. Here in about a week, I told him that I would consider jumping off of the Texans and onto another team. Danny tried to pitch me on the Seattle Seahawks. Mr. Blake Matten and my lovely wife right here, Miss Bethany, tried to pitch me on the Seattle Seahawks. And then
yeah, first of all, hey Bethany, that's tampering. I got a bone to pick with you. That's tampering. That's tampering.
That's tampering says.
My team matters too.
Hey, she's a cheerleader as well. You know, so this is kind of a house divided between cheerleaders. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
so
that's what it is, Rick.
Blake tried to pitch me on the Bears. Danny tried to pitch me on the Seahawks. Another guy, Rob, tried to pitch me on the Tennessee Titans. And then Ryan tried to pitch me on the Jacksonville Jaguars, his all-time favorite NFL team.
Yeah, Ryan's a diehard Jags fan for sure.
He's an absolute diehard Jags fan through and through until the day he dies. So, well, hey, thank you for your time, my friend. Drafting number 6 overall are the Chicago Spirit Fingers. Ready? Okay. No, can't get a little.
I'm okay with it.
I was hoping. Where's your darling little pom poms that I had you wearing last year?
They're probably in the garage somewhere.
Well, I'm going to be having you wear them. I know we don't have a game of the week matchup, but whenever we have a game.
Luckily for your ass.
Yeah, no, well, hey, that's okay. Nobody says that we can't make a bet outside of the game of the week. So if you want to run it back, I'm happy to stomp that ass all over again. I'll have you wearing them pom-poms again.
Yeah, just draft CMC, baby.
Okay, yeah, no, we're done with that. We're done with Christian McCaffrey this year. Anyway, all good, my friend. Hey, thanks so much again for your time. Looking forward to coming back on the show again this Friday.
See you there, my friend.
Take care.
Peace.
That was once again Mr. Blake Matten of the Chicago Spirit Fingers. Now, for those of you that don't know, I know I've talked about this a few times. Steven, I'm not sure if you knew, but Blake, how I actually know him is through the St. Louis Battlehawks fan page. A couple of years ago, I had obviously fallen in love with the St. Louis Battlehawks, and Blake was also part of this. He lives in St. Louis, originally from Chicago, but he was part of the Battlehawks fan page there, and I had posted about how I had thought about taking leave, to come there for the home opener, and Blake donated his tickets to my brother and I. So super cool guy. Him and I, like I said, we have a sports podcast together, so be sure to check that out. But yeah, that's it. That is the all 12 draft positions. How do you think the picks shook out this year?
It's gonna be interesting. Definitely different than last year and years prior. So even though I'm not a part of the league after this evening, I still enjoy keeping up with it. So it's gonna be fun. It's a good season.
I think it should be a very good season. Well, for the last time, let's go ahead and take a look here. I'm also going to post a screenshot of this on the league Facebook page. But let's go back over our final draft order for the 2022, no pun intended, fantasy football season. So drafting number 1 overall are the BimBlahSays with team owner Nicholas BimBlahSays, the classiest hose of fantasy football, looking to reclaim his title after going back-to-back league championship appearances, losing the most recent one. Number 2 overall are the ATL Liens, or as we called it during this event, the A2 Liens, led by team owner Adam Sifflinger. Number 3 overall, we have the Dallas Troll Hunters, led by Mr. Jason LaRoche. And he should be feeling pretty good. This should be, I believe, the highest draft position he's had as well. Number 4, we have the Leatherman himself, Mr. Danny Gilmore, who was actually supposed to be at a midget wrestling event tonight, and he was going to be clad in his leather garb, which we didn't get to see. which I'm sure so many of you are just so bummed about that. But anyhow, number 5, we have Carroll's Exotic Biters team owner Tom Schroeder. Number 6, we just talked to Mr. Blake Matten of the Chicago Spirit Fingers. Number 7, Mr. Kyle Curry of the Florida Swamp Donkeys. Number 8, Mr. Stephen Pallas of the Dallas Greenskins. Number 9, Mr. Miles Hart of the Emancipated Thunder Jockeys. Number 10, we have our defending champ, Mr. Lamar Peoples of #MoneyTeam. Number 11, your soon-to-be champ, Mr. Rick Horn of the St. Louis Lot Lizards. And number 12, last but certainly not least, Mr. John Hawkins, the Demon Barber of Fifth Fleet himself, with the 12th overall pick of the 2022, no pun intended, fantasy football draft. So anyhow, guys, thank you so much for attending this evening. Sorry for kind of clicking around and for the, little technical difficulties that we had, but hopefully this year's show was just as entertaining and the best one yet. We're going to keep trying to improve this thing year after year. And like I said, one last plug that I will make here. Make sure that you go to the league Facebook page and look for this poll to vote for what is going to be the actual draft date. Once we have the draft date figured out, then we'll come up with a time. So speak now or forever hold your peace. I'm going to be closing the poll here pretty soon, here within probably the next couple of weeks. So once we have that figured out, we'll cover a draft time. But other than that, gentlemen, I think that about does it. Any last messages for the league, our 13th team owner?
Go teams. I wish you all the best this season, and have fun.
Have fun, says our Hall of Famer, Mrs. Bethany Horn of Sax in the City. Take care, gentlemen.